Salute, salute, salute. The streets are buzzing. Knicks Nation, how we doing? Let's get it. Lots to chop up. The Knicks pick up a big dub in Salt Lake City. After how many years? The Knicks are on the West Coast, playing Denver tonight. We'll chop up the big win last night. The Knicks bounced back after a team meeting, and I put forth max effort as well. Some heroes to shout out, the chat to shout out, and let's get it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it. How's everybody doing? Top of the morning, coming at you, early post-game morning show, and lots to chop up. Rotation talk. Tibbs, the Knicks, after the players-only meeting, the Knicks came out tough, played Utah tough. That's the word I'll use to describe that performance. That's what I wanted to see. I mean, we can handle losses and wins with talent, but you got to play tough. And the Knicks definitely played desperate, in the words of Jalen Brunson. And we'll shout some people out, and we'll preview the big game tonight in Denver. No Nikola Jokic, so the Knicks are going to have an excellent chance to maybe pick up back-to-back dubs on the road. You know, not getting ahead of ourselves yet, but it's going to be popping tonight. But of course, the Knicks picked up that huge win last night, and we're going to talk about it. No Quentin Grimes, situational at the moment. I got a feeling it's more to do with them just playing it cautious, you know, wanting to give Cam Reddish a big chance, and Cam Reddish stepped up big. Salute to him, playing defense, playing offense, playing a role. Emmanuel quickly stepped up off the bench as well. Obi Toppin stepped up, hitting the three ball. But of course, the game ball has to go to Jalen Brunson for last night's effort. Jalen Brunson took that leadership on and carried the team to the dub as well. It was a fine dub. Well, you've got to appreciate these wins, especially coming on the West Coast. You know, the Knicks don't pick up these wins a lot, very often. This game was penciled in on the calendar, as we know, which was supposed to be the national game. You know, Knicks returning to Donovan Mitchell's former home. But nonetheless, the Knicks picked up a huge win, and we talked about it, you know, a real 500 team. I don't feel like this team's going to go too many games below 500. I don't feel like they're really going to go too many games above 500. But they've got talent, enough talent to not go too many games below 500. And like I've been saying, we're going to see some really feel-good wins, and we're going to see some awful losses, which we've seen so far. That's been the tale of the tape. But this West Coast trip could set things up where we could really see some situations where this season goes down a different path. You know, a lot of talk about Tom Thibodeau seat warming up before the big win last night. There's no doubt Tibbs' seat was getting warmed up. You know, and it's still warm with this situation. The Knicks need consistency, I feel like. And a big chance, a big opportunity tonight to pick up a dub in Denver. And I know Nikola Jokic, so we'll preview that. We'll look at the lineups that Denver have been using, and how it might look tonight without Jokic. But, you know, the Knicks played solid 4 quarters last night in Utah and picked up the dub. On the defensive side of things, you know, they got it done. You know, the offense has definitely picked up, but on the defensive side, the Knicks buckled down and snatched their heart out. You know, a couple of timely threes from Quickly, Obi, and Brunson led us to the victory. You know, so we'll give out some grades, we'll shout some people out, and we'll look ahead to tonight's big game as well for the Knicks. A big opportunity to pick up back-to-back wins on the road, right? Yep. Since 06 would be the last win in Denver, man. I can't believe it's been that long. Right? That's been absolutely crazy. Now, the shorter rotations talk we're going to hit on that before we give out some grades. Now, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I really feel like the Knicks, whatever gets them through a tough funk or a period, you know, giving bigger minutes to Cam, which was, timely last night, playing more than 30 minutes, able to get into a groove, understand these players need to know how much they're going to play, and getting involved in matchups, and getting their head in the game. It's important for that. It's going to be interesting. Evan Fournier out of the rotation last night, back to back. You would think, there's an opportunity where he might get in today, but it looks like it's for real. It really looks like, with his role reducing, um, it'll be really interesting. I'm waiting to see tonight. Does Evan Fournier get off the pine, or does he stay on the bench? Does he stick to the bench moving forward from here on out? Um, I put in the chat, Quentin Grimes didn't play last night. I think that's a situation where they're playing it slow with Quentin. Maybe there's some soreness still. Maybe they don't want to shed much light on that. But tonight will be telling, because a back to back. Quentin Grimes, I would think, if I had to guess, Quentin Grimes should get some minutes tonight. I'd be surprised if he doesn't. Reporters should definitely ask, is there anything else going on with that situation? But Quentin Grimes is a big part of this thing. But of course, we're getting solid contributions from Cam Reddish on the defensive side of things, getting disruptive, using his length, and playing to his strengths on offense. Better shot selection, attacking the closeout, like I've been talking about. Getting to the cup, finishing in traffic as well. The three ball was falling last night. The Cam Reddish stand up as well. He was a big part of this thing and a big key to the win in Utah. And I've been saying, I feel like Utah, with that early success story that you see every year, and they're only a loss or two from being back in the play-in as well. So I've been saying, things can turn real quick. Still a great team, Utah. Deserve their early success. They've come out playing hard, but the Knicks definitely matched that last night, which you want to see, and the Knicks matched that and pulled out the dub. Right, 4 quarters of effort, concentration, focus, and that's what we've been needing. Right, a team that doesn't have all stars and it isn't stacked with talent. We need to play hard for 4 quarters to pick up wins. Now, how much did the players' meeting have to do with the performance? A certain amount, I would say. On the road, that's when teams do bond. They get together and they look at where we want to go. Get in people's face, talk about things. It doesn't sound like it was too serious. It was players only meeting, led by Julius Randle, of all people. A lot's been talking about of that. Julius ain't a vocal leader, but no doubt losing sucks. Having your name dragged through social and the mud and all of that must suck for him. Trade talks, all of that. Players just want to win. Nobody likes losing. Nobody likes, having your name trashed and all of that situation. So definitely Julius took it upon himself to get the crew together and talk about things. Now, I think like it had a really positive impact for this road trip. Obviously, it set the tone now. The Knicks picked up the big win. I'm looking for consistency now. Let's see how we look tonight, right? On a back-to-back, having to travel. Well, that's a big key. Got to back it up tonight, Prometheus. Yep. You can't be doing this team meeting stuff all the time as well. And how are we feeling, ladies and gentlemen, after that big win? What are your thoughts towards that as well? The streets are definitely buzzing when you can pick up a win on the West Coast. Smash that like button, and we'll pull up the box score, give out some grades, give out some flowers. But the Knicks, win on the road, 118 to 111, right? Come from behind win as well. We kind of snatched it, we punked them, but we played consistently, with effort last night. Yeah. So we'll go through the box score, we'll give out some grades, we'll look ahead to tonight's big match up in Denver, where the Knicks haven't won since 06, right? Crazy talk with that. So Randle, 31 minutes. Well, got subbed back into the game when Obi was flowing and the bench unit was flowing. There's a lot of talk about that situation. It was about 5-6 minutes left. Definitely Tom Thibodeau is did what you would expect him to do, which is bring Randall back and send Obi to the bench. Now, a lot of criticism could have come his way if the Knicks didn't pull out that dub, because boy were the Knicks on a run, man. They were flowing. Like I said, Obi had it going, and it was still a ball game. At that point in time, it was definitely still a ball game. Randall came in and played his role with Brunson, but for once, I would have loved to see the unit that was on the floor close out the game. They were definitely deserving of that. But we pulled out the win, so not really gonna moan about it. But it just bears watching. If Tibbs ultimately, if it does come back to bite him in the future, then there's definitely going to be the seat, warming up with that situation. We'll talk about Obi's minutes and all of that. But salute Andrew. How are we doing, fam? Appreciate you. Andrew says Obi has the second most threes on the team with less than half the time. Right. Say that again. First of all, just got to shout out Obi. He's worked on his game. The most pleasing thing about this season so far, for me, in no particular order, but has been Brunson and Obi, mostly those two. Cam Reddish is a story emerging. Quickly's been up and down, but coming good right now. Barrett's been up and down, but consistently, you'd have to say Brunson and Obi. Mitch was on that way, but he got injured. So for me, yeah, fam, the early success story has been Obi and Brunson. And this season wasn't judged on wins and losses for me. I really wanted to see improvement, feel good stories, development, something to look forward to, for the organization moving forward. And Obi stood up. Boy, has he stood up. I mean, it's no flash in the pan. There's been solid shooting stroke from the three ball, and Obi maximizing his value in his minutes, right? Yep. Cam also. We'll talk about him. Don't you worry. Yep. Great points, Andrew. Been a bright spot. But with that said, we got to look at the starters. Randall and Reddish were the two starters in the minus. But it was a tough game. It was back and forth. Utah had control of the game. You could say had slight control of it heading into the third. But the Knicks hang tough. They played tough, gritty D, got in the right positions on the court, buckled down, and boy did Utah's offense freeze. Cam Reddish's length and size, and also the defensive effort from everyone hustling and scrambling, definitely was better on the closeouts as well. So no doubt that was spoken about, probably in the team meeting, which was to do with what we hear about player accountability. Just taking it upon yourself to say, hey, I missed my assignment. I'm going to put my hand up. I should be better than that, right? That's what we want to see. Just players talk to each other, communicate. This is a team thing. So Randall's minutes were down, 31 minutes, was reasonably efficient from the field. Not so much from three, but from the free throw line was solid. Pulled a couple of rebounds down, an assist, a block. Your 4 turnovers that you can expect, minus 12, 15 points. Well, I'll give Randall a B minus for last night, a B minus. Again, probably a very average Randall game. Does some things on the box score, had his moments throughout the game. Well, wasn't really losing the Knicks the game. Better effort, but would have loved to see Obi just close that one out and just give that satisfaction, that he helped the Knicks, get ahead and gain control of the game. That's all we want to see. But we wait another day for that. We wait. Let's see. But shouts out to Obi for that situation, and Randall gets a B minus for that. I've been on record to say while those two are on the roster and Mitch is out, you definitely need to find ways to play the two together more. There's no doubt about it. Um, Even Randall playing 28 minutes, I'm cool with that as well. So it's, around where he was at, the 31 minutes, I want to see that and maybe even less on many nights, unless he's absolutely got the three ball flowing with that. Um, Evenness in the rotations, evenness in minutes distribution amongst the big men is what I want to see moving forward. So let's look at Cam Reddish's performance now. Cam is, like Andrew also said, emerging as one of the top bright spots of the season so far. Stringing together consistency, I would say, consistent performances over the last 3 to 5, 6 games between there. Defensively solid as well. Is really, taking direction well. Whatever they're telling him, you could see the change after the first few games to now. I'm seeing Cam become more cognizant of where he's on the court. His shot selection is improved as well. His positioning defensively, his role to stymie penetration on the perimeter as well. Move his feet, all of that good stuff. He's athletic, as we know, 6'8", finishes well, plays to his strength right now. 33 minutes last night, 7 of 13 from the field, stand up, 2 of 5 from 3-point. Those were some timely buckets as well. When the three ball's fallen for Cam, only good things can happen. 100% from the line. You love to see that. Just 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, a block, 2 turnovers, a foul, -7, 19 points. So was influential in the Knicks win. That things that don't show up on the box score for Cam Reddish. The eye test tells you when you watch this thing, and Cam's feeling more confident. And like I said, players love to get into that groove. They love to know how many minutes they're playing, and they respond usually with that, with more consistent play. Now, Cam's role is growing on this team. Quentin Grimes, I mentioned at the start of the show, with Evan now out of the rotation, benched as well. It's going to be key to see what happens with Grimes over the next couple of games, including tonight, starting tonight. There's no talk that he's on any injury report. So, situational, very, very interesting for a lot of fans. A lot of people have been talking about it. Is it anything to do with back-to-back? The fact that maybe they just wanted to hold him out, last night and give him some run tonight. Let's see. Let's see with that. But it's Cam Reddish's role right now. He's starting, he's getting that opportunity, and he's taking it with 2 hands, right? Driving, kicking it, shooting it well, and defending well. So stand up, a lot of question marks getting answered. Could Cam Reddish fit into a role? Could he take a step back in the offense, have less touches, but more meaningful touches, and then be tuned in, be locked in on the defensive side as well when he's not getting the touches he wants? Is he going to hang his head, or is he going to, be high motor and impact the game on the other side, right? With his length, his wingspan, all of that stuff. And of course, the Knicks transition play has improved with Cam on the floor. When the Knicks get out on the break, he is a handful for the defense. When he gets up and down with Obi there as well, running to the corner, running to his spots, it just opens up the offense for the Knicks on the break. Right? So, yeah, shouts out to Cam Reddish, first and foremost, as well. Shout out to the chat. Yep. Poopzilla, what's good, fam? Yeah, everybody, replay gang, salute. Give us your thoughts on Cam. Well, do you foresee this thing continuing with this? Well, heading into Denver, we all know about this beautiful game. Confidence is a big key for this situation for players, getting into a groove, getting the trust of the coach, all those things, fitting in with their teammates. You start to see good things happen, good vibes with that situation. So contract year Cam is a big storyline early in this season. We're 14 games in. 7-7, and but so far it's been Brunson, it's been Obi, and Cam is emerging now as a huge part of this thing, a bright spot for this season so far, right? I've got to give a grade for Cam Reddish on his performance last night. He impacted the game in so many different ways. B plus for Cam Reddish, stand up. B plus with that situation. Would have given him an A if he was in the positive, in the plus minus, a -7, but he did most of what he could with that situation. So stand up. I wish Tibbs could see how dangerous Cam and Obi could be, but he has tunnel vision. Right. Yep. Or a lack of want to experiment a bit, early in the season. The thing is, it's crazy to think. I was thinking about this right after the game, fam, is that we all know Tibbs didn't want Cam, but now he's playing him starting minutes and he's seeing the impact he can have. So I'm like, if Tibbs is ever going to admit he was wrong, it's got to be now. Because, I mean, here is a guy that's helping him win a ball game and he didn't want this trade to happen. He was happy with Evan Fournier or thought there was no room for Cam because we had Alec Burks and Evan Fournier. So he's kind of got to eat crow right now, basically, with that situation because Cam Reddish is helping and he's producing. Yeah, man, is he producing with that stand up, with that. And do I think it's going to continue? Absolutely, I do. I think I've seen enough for what I'm doing. I mean, he ain't like scoring a lot and he ain't doing anything that's not sustainable right now. If anything, his play could pick up some more, I think, with Cam, with more consistency, more minutes, more games, more opportunity to get into a better groove as well. Getting shots up now, 13 shots last night as well. So he's getting a bigger role. The only question mark moving forward, I guess, is like I said, is Grimes. What to make of the foot thing and what to make of Grimes sitting out last night. How soon can he get ready, shake off the rust and start playing meaningful minutes? That'll be the only hurdle for Cam Reddish that might alter his minutes, Mitchell Robinson being out soon as well. He's soon to be evaluated. Maybe the Knicks are less likely to go small when Mitch gets back healthy, but Cam is still getting his minutes. So look out with that. We're better offensively, better defensively with Cam on the floor as well. So, yep, like the chat was just saying, Tibbs needing to see this, man. Cam and Obi playing together, the different wrinkles this team can have, the different looks it has on the break, the size, the athleticism as well, the mismatches we could have, all of that, man. This is 2022. You've got to adapt to the modern NBA, right? Spacing, movement, athleticism, as well, size, wingspan, all of that as well, man. Evan Fournier, before we proceed, we just got to hit on that further because it relates to Cam. Obviously, there was so much talk that Evan Fournier was the starter, Cam would be situational. Who would have thought 14 games in that narrative would be completely flipped on its head, that Evan Fournier is situational now and Cam Reddish is the starting wing on this spot, man. If I was on here before the season began on the show, talking with the chat as well, Nick Streets, and I was saying to them that Fournier would be relegated to situational and Cam would be the starter after 14 games, some people would have thought I was delusional. But here we are. Here we are. I mean, this season's still so early, so much to see still, but the future doesn't look bright for Evan Fournier on this team, right? He's definitely going to probably remain situational and be a trade candidate ASAP. So, yeah, that's quite the shock in terms of that it's actually happening. Not a shock that it has happened, because We know the limitations of Fournier, but a shock that it's actually um, happened with that situation. So yeah, Cam Reddish gets his grade stand up. Really, really watching him tonight in Denver to see how he matches up against their wings. Right, is key for our perimeter D to pick up. The Knicks closed out the shooters better last night, and we need to see that more. There's no doubt it was ugly against OKC. The footage was shared all over media, all the missed assignments, giving up 145 to OKC, right? If that's the game that turns our season around, then I could see that happening because it was such a bad example of what not to do. This team had its meeting and they've got to get their hands up, got to close out and guard the three ball, right? Utah Jazz aren't anything special. Their defense isn't great. The Knicks definitely took the opportunity last night, and it's full steam ahead now in Denver with this situation. Now, Isaiah getting the start as well, 22 minutes, didn't get many shots, 4 shots, but pulled in 9 rebounds, 2 offensive. So salute, 1 steal, 1 block, got his 4 fouls, +6, 2 points. Also, Hartenstein didn't look good on the box score, but last night he definitely was active like he always is, active on the glass, causing disruptions, using all of his fouls mostly. 22 minutes, that allowed the Knicks to go small for periods as well with Mitch out. Obviously, Jericho Sims stepped up, played more minutes, but Hartenstein continues to just give you effort. That's what he does. He'll give you effort. 22 minutes, give Hartenstein a C for last night. Stand up. Salute Will. What's good? In the chat, what a performance by Cam. So much untapped potential, even still. Think we have seen the end of the Fournier era. Time for Cam. Yep, absolutely, fam. Yep, definitely. This season ain't about the wins and losses. It's about, you know, giving shine to players that could be on this team for the future with this situation. Evan Fournier, 30 years old, uh, reaching the back end of his prime and not effective, just not effective two-way player for us. We've seen enough. Now, Tom Thibodeau has seen enough, I feel. So, yeah, quite the revelation after 14 games. But, I mean, who would have thought us fans knew what we're talking about, Fan, Will, chat, everyone out here, replay gang. We talked about it all season last season, and we talked about it all summer. Right? We know Evan Fournier's limitations. People did keep pointing towards Evan shooting, but guess what? He ain't exactly a sniper. When the three ball wasn't falling for Fournier, that was the end of him. He wasn't even shooting great at all this season. So what else has he given you? Right? So let's get into JB, right? He took the game ball again, stand up. This team's MVP, this team's closer. And boy, did he close last night. He bullied Mike Conley, got to anywhere he wanted to on the floor. I love the post-up game, man. It was a throwback. I mean, there was passing the ball down low to him in the on the block at times. He was backing Conley up. It was step backs. It was up and under moves. It was floaters. It was all of that, man. Just such a crafty player. Offensively, our best isolation player. 6'1". That's not easy. Just saying that makes me feel how rare that is to see. Shoot such a high efficiency near the cup. I mean, we're just seeing such a rare player on this team right now with Jalen Brunson. Now, obviously, he could get exposed defensively at times, but he's been our most consistent player this season, right? You could say that. I don't think anyone could disagree. And he was the free agent signing. He came in with expectations, and it's not often that a Knicks acquisition that has expectations comes in and meets those expectations, Usually it meets, the ire of fans and, you know, and things like that. All of that situation, right? Kaiser, good morning, salute. Yep, rise and shine, and let's get this thing popping. Absolutely ready to trade Randall. Yep, with the next reasonable deal. There are obviously different variations of lengths people will go to. I wouldn't attach assets to get rid of Randall. But fam, what I would do in the interim is to limit his minutes. Like I talked about, 31 last night. That was cool. But I think we could go even lower. We could go down to 26, 28 minutes, while he's here. And in a perfect world, if Tom Thibodeau hopefully learns, or in the future we get a chance to do it again, I would have kept Randall on the bench. Absolutely let Obi ride it out and finish the game out with that situation, right? And Randall can help some teams. He's a baller. He's a ball player. He can help teams. He's good for the third option, I would say. Keeping it a buck on a good team, Randall can help a team as a third option. There's no shade, no disrespect with that as well. We've got him in our second option. Well, and if Randall's your second option, you're a play-in team like what we are. You're not in the top part of the playoff standings as well. What are some scenarios for Randall? Miami, I feel like there's talk about that. The Lakers, obviously Phoenix. I think he would fit with Washington. Well, there'll be some suitors. I feel like there'll be some conversations. Yeah, you watch. Definitely this season, this NBA season's getting wacky. We can never predict, injuries and where teams are going to be in the standings. So Julius Randle keep producing on the court, and I think, some options will open up. And definitely afraid to cut Randle's minutes. I feel like there's a heavy organizational commitment to Randle in terms of CAA, all of that, the family ties with Kenny Payne that brought him in here and all of that. But I feel like it'll play out in due course. It'll play out respectfully. They'll have those conversations. I feel like Randall will understand that his minutes are probably going to go down a little. I feel like the better Obi keeps playing. We don't need Randall playing 38 minutes no more. We don't need him playing 30, 40 minutes. Like I said, 26, 28 is perfect. And if you can get Obi up to 24, while the two are still on the roster, that's the ideal, right, for me. Yep. Jericho had himself a game, stood up, and yep, stood up, fam. Yep, we got something with him. Yep, what a future piece. What a pickup was Jericho Sims. Had the poster on Kessler, was it? On that situation. IQ, stand up as well. Salute Mike Boy. Obi shooting 42.4, leading the team from three, right? On decent attempts as well, right? Not just like one or two attempts, man. This is a serious sample size that we're seeing with Obi. And stand up. He's worked on his game, right? Best believe the scouting report on these teams are going to adjust if they haven't already, right? Let's see it. A small ball with Cam. I mean, it's just so fun to watch. So fun to watch with that situation, right? But of course, Jalen Brunson's grade is nothing but an A from last night. 10 of 20, Mr. Efficiency, right? We've taken it for granted because we kind of know what to expect now with JB. What I could say is, I guess his 3-point bag could improve. That's a good thing. He's got improvement within him. We're not seeing the best of Jalen Brunson yet. 100% from the line though. Pulled in 3 boards, 8 assists, 3 steals, stand up, 4 turnovers, used up his 5 fouls. That showed me he was more aggressive, defensively, was Brunson. Getting in dudes, getting in, playing hard, playing tough, +9, 25 points. I mean, what a smooth operator is JB, right? Worldwide L, salute in the chat. How are we feeling out here? You know, a lot of people feel like this threw a spanner in the Tibbs hot seat wrench. I just think it's more of a opportunity to feel good and getting a road win. Um, we can't take these for granted because we don't win on the road too often. So it was just a real satisfying win. It was a little bit of a glimpse to the future of what these young players are capable of with minutes. They're heating up now. They're warming up. Just 14 games into the season, ladies and gentlemen. We got something. We need to empower these kids, give them more opportunities as well. I said in the last show after the OKC loss, I said, let them play through mistakes. Even if RJ haven't got it going, right? It makes no sense to bench your future in the second half just because they're in foul trouble or they're not playing well. They need to learn how to play through mistakes and play through a slump as well. Tom Thibodeau is still trying to coach every single game to win. X's and O's. He's trying to win every single minute, right? But for me, this season's about players improving and giving them that opportunity to improve as well with that situation, right? Yep, the Lob City was nice, man. That was beautiful. Obi's lob was amazing as well. Yep, great chemistry all around. Yep, good comment, Kaiser. With that, you got to feel good with that situation. With that, and of course, there's still so many ingredients missing, fam. Mitch and Grimes, not even in this situation yet. How do you think those guys fit in? Chat. Um, as I talked about, we kind of know Evan Fournier. The writing looks like it's on the wall, fam. But what are your thoughts on the Grimes Cam situation? Do you just think with Grimes suffering that injury has maybe opened the door for Cam for the foreseeable, maybe all the way into the deadline, the first half of the season, maybe Cam stays as a starter, maybe even longer. One thing's for sure is it looks like they're still going slow with Grimes, whether it's to do with the injury, whether it's rust, who knows? But tonight, let's see, because it'll be fascinating if Grimes doesn't get on the court again tonight. There's definitely talk that they've shortened the rotation, or Tibbs is looking to shorten the rotation to 9. That would mean Grimes would then be situational. I mean, the dude that was untradeable could be situational now. Yep. Kaiser says Grimes got to get healthy. Grimes is a backup too. He can't play the small forward as well as Reddish. With that, yep. Length can hurt us, definitely, in this modern NBA. But I still got to see the consistency for Reddish, to earn that spot. I feel like when Grimes is healthy, he's going to give good competition. Good competition. I'm high on Grimes as a two-way guy. He's a smart ball player, knows where to be on the floor. He can play make as well as shoot. But yeah, you're right. He just got to get healthy. It's still early days for Grimes. We got him on cost control. Maybe the organization's thinking, fam, is that there's no rush with Grimes, but Cam's in a contract situation. So maybe it's just like carte blanche for Cam coming up. Man, Cam fans will be salivating. Right? And he's delivering too. He's getting an opportunity and he's delivering. Right? You love to see that, man. A lockdown wing. Right? A lot of that potential. Jarvis, salute, fam. Cam, does he remind you of a young PG when he's clicking? A young PG 13. On the defensive side of things, right? Grimes could be backing up RJ. Yep, when he's totally healthy. Yep, he could definitely fit into a lot of different roles. He could be that plug and play guy. Yep, plug and play. But we're building chemistry with this starting unit now. Jarvis. You would notice too, our offense has picked up. I don't have all the numbers over the last 4 or 5 games, but the Knicks have scored over 110, 115, 130 over the last 4 or 5 games since Cam got in as well. So our defense just needed to pick itself up. Effort is the main thing, being focusing for 48 minutes. But offensively, we'll pick things up. It'd be interesting to see where our offense ranks over the last 5 games and where we ranked in the league with that situation. A big part of that is Mitch Robb being out as well. With a small ball 5, an offensive-minded 5 opportunity, we're scoring easier. Definitely scoring easier, I feel like. Now, we got to give some shouts out to RJ as well. He's not getting off the hook. 37 minutes, was reportedly sick. 5 of 18, struggled shooting, missed all of his threes. Was only 8 from 14 from the line, but he got to the line as well. He's being aggressive. Was +3 still, 18 points. So the box scores can be funny sometimes, with that situation. That's crazy. But it's still up and down for RJ. I love him being aggressive, though. Still shooting, even if the shot's not falling. Well, would have liked to see him pick up the playmaking a bit more, though. 4 assists. That's okay. It's okay, 4 assists. But yeah, he's got opportunity to pick that up. 6'7", he can see over guys. He could play make more, I think, can RJ. I think right now he's just looking to score most times with RJ, but it's a long season. It's going to be ups and downs for RJ. He's building consistency. He's getting the minutes, which we want to see. Like I said, I want to see him play through mistakes. There's no point Tom Thibodeau sitting him. If he's struggling, just play him and throw him out there, man. Throw him out there. What do you guys think? I just think that hurts a player's confidence even more, benching him. If it's a Randall, it's a different story because he's a veteran. But a young player, just let him play through the mistakes. We've got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. He'll be better for it, for the future and moving ahead. The OKC game, I didn't like the fact that he didn't play the whole second half. Yeah, that situation, right? Jarvis says CT defense has to pick up. I need to see grit, energy, effort, passion. Right, all of those things, fam. You're on point. I've been saying the same thing. You can't teach grit, you can't teach energy, you can't teach effort, and you can't teach passion. You either show it or you don't, kind of thing. And I think ultimately that's what could get Tibbs fired. You could be this elaborate coach with schemes and planning and X's and O's, but if you can't motivate your guys and get them fired up, that's a coach's job. But you shouldn't need to be doing that all the time as well. Otherwise, the players have just let go of the rope, basically, or tuned you out, kind of thing with that. So, yeah, no better time to bond on the road, like Jarvis says, fam. Our backs were against the wall. They would have heard all the news. Nobody gave the Knicks a chance to maybe win more than one game on this road trip. Right. So who would have thought after the bad OKC loss, they landed, they went out to dinner, they talked about it like grown men. They said what's up. Probably a few people aired their grievance or whatever it is that hasn't been said yet. And the Knicks buckled down and finally got a really, really tough feel-good win against a great opponent right now. You have to say great because the Utah Jazz were top of the West and have been the feel-good story of the NBA so far. And we made them look like what they really are last night, a play-in team, basically. But our youngsters, our youth, and the shooting and the energy and the defense got it done last night as well. So I'm happy Evan Fournier didn't play. He's situational now. That's another big win early this season, fam. Yep. Evan bought RJ a steak. Mike, absolutely, man, hilarious with that. I've been saying for a minute, I think Evan's going to be okay. He's not going to be no locker room malcontent. Now, would he be happy about this? No, absolutely not. He's got pride. He's a veteran. but he's going to handle this thing. He'll be situational. He'll play if he needs to. But I think for now, Evan is out of the rotation. Absolutely, right? What's good, Almighty? What's good? Yep. Like Jarvis says, we hope it carries over game to game, right? And from the starters to the bench, right? Yep. Yep. And we'll hit on the situation in a minute tonight in Denver. But RJ Barrett's grade, got to give him a grade for last night. Not very efficient. Again, was in the plus though. Let's give RJ Barrett a C for last night, a C. Now, Obi Toppin, 18 minutes, right? Was stiff. Should have got more than that. Was a big part of the Knicks making a huge run. Plus 23 in 18 minutes. Says it all, right? Ridiculous, man. 9 points, 4 assists for your power forward as well in 18 minutes. Stand up. Obi Toppin gets an A for me last night, right? Plus 23, yep, Kaiser. Right. It's incredible in 18 minutes. That tells you we was making a run, when he was on the floor. We say that all too often, gives us energy, gives us a lifeline, gives us a spark. Exactly what you need. Now with that situation, 18 minutes, that shouldn't happen with Mitch out. Now maybe Sims was a factor in Obi not playing more minutes. Maybe let's say Sims didn't have it going or Sims was in foul trouble. Maybe he plays Obi and Randall more together and Obi can get to that 25, 23 minute mark maybe. But 18 minutes, definitely should have played more with that. Right. And his rebounds picking up. Yep, facts. Guys, Soze, 1 offensive, 5 defensive, 6 overall in 18 minutes. That's a good rate. Right. Yeah, with that said, just imagine if Tibbs had been playing Obi, right? He's starting to get real comfortable. That, from what we've heard as well, Tibbs likes Obi, right? This ain't no situation where Tibbs doesn't like Obi anymore, or he's benching him for silly mistakes. It's a different issue right now. It's just simply he's not creative enough to find more minutes for Obi. But the word is that Tom Thibodeau really likes Obi, and Obi is one Tom over. The biggest elephant in the room is Randall right now. The biggest elephant in the room is Randall. I get if their long-term plan is to try to find a home for Randall. They can't limit his minutes too much either, right? You've still got an asset you're trying to trade as well. So that bears watching. You don't want to mistreat Randall because then it can hurt the perception around the league as well. And Randall deserves more respect than that because he's still contributing. He can still put up great stats. From what I'm seeing, Randall's just not a part of this team's future moving ahead. And of course, his effort defensively at times is an atrocity. They see it ain't even bad; it's an atrocity. At times it just hurts the team on that side of the floor. And offensively, he can creep back into his ways as well. So, yeah, look, I'm not looking for this team to then drop Randall's minutes anything crazy, but ideally, my if I was running this team, I would limit his minutes to 26, 28 minutes, bump Obi's minutes up a bit more while they're together, play them more together, find a home for Randall as soon as he possibly can for the right, good trade. Not attaching assets or anything crazy like that yet. Not at that point yet. Now, teams would be calling the Knicks for Obi. Definitely, best believe that. If teams are calling the Knicks for IQ, they'd have to be calling for Obi as well. So Obi's agent, in his camp, this is make or break this season. We can't fumble this. We can't mess this up. Right? We've got about 25 more games to the trade deadline. things like that. It's going to be telling. It's going to be critical. And like I said, no perfect opportunity with Mitch out. When Mitch gets healthy again, it's going to be more challenging, to find minutes for both of the Randall and Obi. With that, yep. Jericho's activity, right? Best believe that, Jarvis. Yep, I love that too, man. I could just see the look on some of the Utah players' face, especially Clarkson when he tried to block. He thought he could block Sims from behind. Sims just elevated like a rocket straight up. Clarkson was like, "Man, to hell with this," and he fouled him. Yeah, that was my favorite play of the game, really. That oop, I think it was from Obi to Sims. His second leap off the bounce as well was crazy. He's Jericho, man, jump man Jericho. Um, yeah, what a nice find. Um, Tell you what's interesting. I've been saying all summer that our center rotation is deep right now, and it's been proven that we're getting along fine with Mitch out. Obviously, our defense ain't as good as what it could be with Mitch out, but these guys are filling in, right, and they're getting more opportunities as well. So Obi Toppin got his A. Jumpman Jericho in his 25 minutes was 5 of 7. Doesn't shoot threes, but was one of 1 from the line. 13 rebounds, ladies and gentlemen. I'm reading that correctly. 13 rebounds, 8 offensively. Man, 8 offensive rebounds. That's amazing. 2 assists, 1 steal, used up 5 fouls, 11 points. Okay, was -3. Right. Great, great contribution for Sims. 25 minutes. I mean, scoring 11 points, rebounding like a demon. Um, they can't bully us with Jericho out there. He's nice on the glass. He is. The putbacks as well, the tip backs and the lobs gives us a great look. Jericho, right? Big season ahead for him. I'm glad he's getting this opportunity because what comes of an injury ain't always negative. Sometimes you get a bigger look at somebody else, and Jericho Sims is getting his chance, right? Stand up. Yeah, Sims had a play where he put his shoulder into the Jazz player, then dunked hard on Oakley, like Oakley, and that was my favorite play of the game. Yeah, I remember that one too, fam. Yeah, he's understanding that he can bully dudes out there, fam. Yep, best believe that. Jump man, cost control, great contract, 58 pick. That's the kind of thing that can help move a franchise forward in terms of hitting on your second round picks, fam. You know, it's hit or miss. You know, not talking about the fate of Deuce McBride and things like that, but there's some second round picks like Bones Highland, we already know Herb Jones, um, Desmond Bain, those kind of dudes that the Knicks could have hit on as well. We haven't seen Rokas yet, and we haven't seen enough from Deuce, but Jericho Sims is the man for the 58th pick, man. You can't do any better than that, right? Parrish, salute. Good morning. How we feeling? Big win. Feels good to knock off Utah, especially the fact that they were the Cinderella darling of the league so far. All this talk that they've messed up their tank, and I did say it's just way too early in the season to be overreacting with that. I think the Utah Jazz are one more loss away from being back in the play-in, right? Then it's back downhill from there. I think the rest of the league's catching up with that. But nonetheless, not taken away from these Knicks. It was a feel-good win. It was a great win as well. And we have a chance to make it taste even sweeter tonight. If we pick up our first dub in Denver in the Rockies since 2006, right? Best believe that. Right. I can't even remember how old I was back then. man. 2006, no Nikola Jokic. Let's get into there. Let's get into it. And we'll look at their box score from their last game and their lineups. But we've got to give out grades for Sims. Now he gets a B plus for me last night. Derrick Rose, 14 minutes, got a few more minutes, was efficient, played his role, 6 points. I mean, maybe in a shortened rotation, it's going to be a situation worth watching. Does D Rose lose out on a spot? Because Quickly's impressing right now. And Rose, what's the point in playing him 10 to 15 minutes? I just don't see any point in that anymore. Well, so could he end up being situational? Probably not with Tibbs here, but I mean, he's not part of this team's future, in my opinion, is D Rose. He can stick around as a vet mentor if he wants, but D Rose, give him a C plus for last night. Quickly, huge game. That's what you want to see from those kind of performances from those young players of the future. Quickly, probably hyped up. The fact that his name's been in trade talks, I think that's definitely a big key. You know, when news breaks that your name is, being called upon by other teams, that got to have you feeling some kind of confidence, as well as maybe some nerves as well. So Quickly came out in his 26 minutes, produced from the get-go, 6 of 10, 3 of 6 from three-point land. The three-point shot starting to fall, which is huge for Quickly. We all know, absolutely huge. Rebounded okay, 2 assists, 4 steals, incredible. That's stuff in the stat sheet. Plus 18, what? 13 points. IQ is starting to turn things around now, right? Starting to turn things around, starting to feel more comfortable. And this is what happens when you limit Derrick Rose's role. Lo and behold, a younger player stands up, right? Now, imagine if Obi Toppin was playing even more minutes, man. The dude would be putting up absurd numbers with that. So, yeah, as we all know, fam, let this be a lesson that you can be addition by subtraction. So many times players get hidden behind veterans, right? And then you empower these young players, give them bigger roles, you let them have a few bad games in a row, and you let them play through it. You build their confidence up, and they start to produce, right? These players are in the NBA for a reason. They've got talent. They just need to unlock it, right? Development, training, practice, film school, and playing through mistakes, right? And players can show improvement as well. It's repetitive with this thing, right? So IQ stand up. He gets an A for last night, fam. Yep. Jarvis says we absolutely need more Bulldogs on this team, right? Facts. Jarvis, yep. I feel like we're missing one or two of those. I'd love to see Deuce get a chance. I know the rotation's short, but in terms of veterans, if we had a Patrick Beverly, Marcus Smart on this team that could pick dudes up full court, in a starting unit, that would change this team's chances a lot. Yep, absolutely. Uh, with that said, I want to see more emotion as well from RJ, from Cam as well. Yep, I want to see more emotion. Yeah. Mike says if Randall is traded, Isaiah could sometimes back up Obi at the 4 spot, I guess. Yeah. I think Sims too as well, fam. But I think Cam Reddish could be played at the 4 as well. A lineup I really love to see is a situation with Brunson, IQ, RJ, Cam, and Obi. Well, super small, but I think that's a great lineup for at least 10, 15 minutes. Brunson, IQ, RJ, Cam, and Obi. Right. You need to adapt. 2022, that's a lineup that's just stacked with talent, absolutely stacked with talent. Yeah, fam. Now, yeah, obviously last night, just to recap, they won it with effort on the defensive side of things. That the offense is picking up, so that was no shock last night as well. But these bench players came in and did their thing. Cam Reddish did his thing on the starting unit, and everyone else just stepped in and played their role. Right, stepped in, played as a team last night. It's probably the most unselfish performance of the season. Right, there was no egos. They just played hard for one another. Right, and you could somewhat assume it was off the back of the team meeting, and being on the road as well, just being a product of the on the road, fam. Yep. Especially athletic perimeter defenders. Yeah, I want to see more commitment to player development. Yep. Jarvis on point, fam. Yep. We can't just use wins and losses to dictate the rotations. I feel like moving ahead. You want to make improvement for the future. I know you want to win games right now because it feels good to win. Always does. But you got to have one eye on the future or at all times as well. You got to be thinking about contract situations and all of that. Fam, yep. We are here rocking out. The streets is buzzing. Smash that like button because the Knicks are on the road and they can prove a lot of people wrong with this situation. Let's see what Tibbs does now with this rotation, fam. Now, with that said, let's turn our attention to what's ahead, ladies and gentlemen, as we got 4 more games on the road. Denver, Golden State, Phoenix, back in Oklahoma. Man, we got to get them back. We got to punish them for what they did to us as well. But first and foremost, it's Denver and the Rockies, high altitude, back to back. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. It would be a really impressive win tonight if the Knicks can pull this one out. What are your thoughts, chat? Are you confident tonight? I think it's 50-50 from what I'm seeing from last night. I think if there's some feel good vibes, players are feeling loosey goosey. I think they can get things rolling. Yep. Jerry, salute. What's good? Nick's player only dinner may have worked. Great win. Thumbs up. Appreciate you as well. Yep. Agree. I think a part of that was definitely driven into their good performance defensively, accountability, all of that stuff, you know. It's ironic that Randall, organized it. The word is, but players obviously would have all had spoken their piece, talking about what they felt was on their mind, which is only healthy, man. You you've got to get what's on your mind off your chest. You know, these are 15 guys plus with personalities, with egos, with contracts at stake. Meet for dinner, get it off your chest, right? Play as a unit, just defend, play hard for one another, right? That's it. Shots will come, passes will come, shots will fall, all of that stuff, right? Now let's continue that tonight on the road. Let's pick up a huge win, fam. Yep. Salute D, appreciate you. Let's get it. How are we feeling out here? Give us your thoughts from last night moving ahead with this situation, this rotation situation that we feel like could be getting shorter now. Evan Fournier could be on the bench. I know D's happy about that. We talked about it in the summer and that situation, right? Athletically, defensively, we're worse off with Evan. But yeah, Denver, they're no joke, ladies and gentlemen. And I've got their box score that I'll pull up from their last game. Let's take a gander at this situation, Sam. So this was Denver's box score 2 nights ago in their win in Chicago. Yeah, they had a big win over Chicago 2 nights ago. So Denver's coming in with 2 days rest, which is crazy. Knicks played last night. Denver played only two days ago, so they should be fresh. Nikola Jokic is in health safety protocol, and Bones Highland out. So let's look at this situation, fam. You got Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Jokic out, Jamal Murray, Caldwell Pope. So you would assume Jokic out, and maybe they go small with Jermichael Green. You guys may have seen Denver more. Maybe they throw in DJ. DeAndre Jordan gets the start, perhaps. I'm not sure how many games Jokic has missed this season. I haven't seen them play without him. What is your guess with how they line up with that? My guess is they go small. They throw Jermichael, or they throw in DJ. Yeah, with that situation. So still a decent starting five. Got the athleticism of Gordon, Michael Porter Jr. You got the Murray. The offense is going to run through Murray, and Caldwell Pope can D up as well. Crazy box score from that night. They were all in the positives. Look at that. All their starters were in the plus 20s. Yep. Okay. Michael Green. Okay. Jermichael Green with Golden State. Okay. Appreciate you. Who's the who's the J Green they got? Must have mistaken that one with that. But they got Najee as well. He's a mobile forward that can stroke it. Man, he crucified us last season, wasn't it? So yeah, look for our bench to definitely. I would feel confident with our bench against their bench. If you look at it, I think we can win the battle of that bench definitely. And with Jokic out, our guys have just got to play tough. Altitude, it's going to be tough traveling, getting back into the hotels late. Should be another late shoot around, hopefully. Maybe they play more minutes for dudes that were more fresh. Maybe Derrick Rose plays a bit more. Maybe Grimes gets in for a look as well. I'd be shocked if Evan Fournier gets a look. I think it's tough to have a guy DNP and then you bring him in again. Yeah, I think that's Evan Fournier's fate right now. It's situational. That Andrew got the Nuggets saying they're fifth highest scoring team in the league. Yeah. High powered offense, absolutely, fam. Jamal Murray back, playing tough at home, high altitude, up and down type stuff, right? EDF salute. CT, they're going to shoot the lights out against weak closeouts, right? Because our heavy legs a mile up. That's definitely the worry, fam. And one ugly trend with this team, they get complacent when they have a feel-good win, right? What would be the most impressive thing to me is if they come out and play really hard tonight. It ain't really about the win or the loss, but if they back up last night's performance with solid effort and play as hard as they possibly can, I could live with that. But yeah, to your point, defensively, got to be better closing out. Yep. Yep. Still really good without the Joker. Absolutely, Jerry. Yep. Completely agree. Yep. And I agree with D as well. Really, really keen to see how they look on this back to back as well. Like I said, with the team meeting and the feel good vibes, it was good for last night. But what does it look like when we move ahead? We're starting to get into the thick of this road trip and a better competition than the Jazz. No disrespect, but Denver, Golden State, Phoenix are the creme de la creme out there. So it's big test, big opportunity for the Knicks bench and the Knicks starters to stand up. Well, Mitch still out, going to get reevaluated soon. That'll be a nice boost defensively. But Tibbs, yeah, didn't really play Obi and Randall too much. Sims got the extra minutes last night. He delivered. He absolutely delivered. So um, we could still have an advantage tonight on the glass. I think they're not a very big team. Denver with Jokic out, right? Um, 14 assists he had in his last game, which is crazy, more than any guard. I mean, they're going to miss that playmaking as well. I feel like they're going to obviously try to get Jamal Murray the ball. He's going to fire it up at will with that situation. He'll be firing up with will. Yep. They were helping out on D. I agree, Andrew. Yep, that was pleasing. Yep, closing out, helping each other as well. The switching was a lot more better as well, knowing when to switch, when not to. Well, they definitely went over some film. I talked about it because that was killing us, Randall not switching when he needed to and just blowing the assignments. Well, that was ugly to see. Um, One thing you can say is as well is that if you to have really ugly losses, you want to have them really early in the season. Learn from them. Learn from them, like the OKC game, Brooklyn loss. That was ugly. You're forced to meet your demons. When you have bad performances early in the season, because you've got to rectify it. You've got to listen to the critique, and you've got to improve. Otherwise, it's lights out. you know, Tibbs seat getting warmer, a road trip coming up. It's a perfect storm for this team. I said after the OKC game, it's good and bad, this road trip, because it's a good chance to really show if we could step up and and really answer the call, prove some people wrong. And it could be a bad thing where we just, capitulate and calls for the coach and the season getting out of hand as well. So it's a perfect storm with this road trip. And my predictions for tonight, I'll talk about it after seeing this news that Jokic is out. Well, I'm going to be confident and say this game's probably a 50-50 chance as well, as tough as it's going to be. But like I said, for my reasons earlier, our bench versus their bench, I mean, the way Obi's in form, popping it, quickly coming in, these guys should be fresh. They didn't play a lot of minutes last night. They're young, athletic. Cam Reddish played 30-something minutes, but he'll be fine. RJ might be a bit under the weather and tired, but Grimes might step in. Quickly only played 20-something minutes. Obi played 18. I think tonight we should be fine effort, energy-wise, right? There's no excuse. Play these guys more minutes, right? Yep. 35 points in the fourth. Shock. Yep. Facts. Facts, Steve, with that. Now, with that said, Brunson could be a guy that the effort he put forth last night, he might be a guy that looks tired tonight. Well, all eyes will be on Brunson for me with Jamal Murray. And, they got the scouting report. They're going to know how important it is, to shut Brunson down. I feel Brunson is our engine. They're going to try to shut him down, right? He can't carry us every night. He's going to be tired with the effort Brunson gave. So step up, Emmanuel, quickly. Hopefully RJ Barrett's healthy and steps up as well. Some playmaking duties. Randall only playing 31 minutes. Maybe that was strategic as well. So again, these guys shouldn't be too tired. It'll be tough because Denver have had a 2-day rest, but it'll be really impressive. Bottom line, if the Knicks win tonight, it'll be one of their best wins in years. I mean, years, that situation, right? All bad streaks need to come to an end, right? Let's put that streak to sleep. Not having won in Denver since 06, right? Nikola Jokic is out. There's no better opportunity. Let's grind, play gritty, play tough, well, close out well. switch, just be focused for 4 quarters with this thing. It's going to be a great test. I really like Jamal Murray, but if he has a bad shooting night, they're really going to miss Jokic. Filling out the stat sheet. With that situation. And then I look at their bench. No disrespect, but what DeAndre Jordan giving you 17 minutes. You know, you're really in a desperate situation if DeAndre Jordan's still getting more than 15 minutes for you with that, and he's probably going to play even more minutes. With that. Cam, big storyline heading to tonight as well. His form, is that going to continue? How many minutes will he play? But one thing that's been great to see is his defensive impact on this thing, that impact wing that this team really needs, right? And he's well and truly taken over Evan Fournier's spot, right? So salute, salute, salute for that. Andrew says Knicks need to re-sign Cam. Hope him signing with clutch doesn't screw it up, right? Yep, absolutely. Let's see what happens, man. We've still got a long way to go with that. There's the qualifying offer and all of that. So let's see. But it's still early. Cam's getting that opportunity that he probably couldn't have dreamed of starting with this team. Right. Eddie, Denver on the back-to-back is tough, right? I can understand looking like trash. They're far more than Barclays. Yep. Far more than Barclays, absolutely, yeah, with the altitude, the crowd, all of that. And teams do generally play with a chip when they're missing their best player. They tend to dig deep, and to rally the team to try to get the dub without Jokic. Well, I see this one as going down to the wire. Yep, back and forth kind of thing. Right, who's going to step up big? Is Obi's 3 ball going to be money? Cam Reddish going to light the world on fire as well? The buzz will be on point if Cam lights it up and has another great performance tonight. Man, the streets, the chat will be buzzing, the world will be buzzing with that situation, right? And yeah, really looking forward to it. Back-to-backs haven't happened a lot this season yet, but we kick off this road trip with a big win in Utah and a chance to make it go from good to great road trip so far as well, man. We'd be heading into Golden State with a ton of confidence if we pull off this back-to-back win, right? So chat, streets, great conversations had. Appreciate you all for rocking out early morning, talking about this big Utah win, this road ahead, this team and the rotations and the news coming through that the Knicks are looking to play a shorter rotation, 9 men. Evan Fournier's out, Cam's in, Obi's still not getting the minutes he deserves, but let's see what happens moving ahead. There's always something to chop up. The streets is always buzzing as well. And yeah, we'll talk about it after the game, right? Herb, salute. Sit RJ. His defense needs work. Start Cam and play Obi and quickly with Sims. For that. I agree with the Cam situation. He'll continue to start. I want to see Obi quickly play with Sims more as well. Yep. You can see the bounce with those guys. Yep. The chemistry, the lobs, all of that. Yep. To have 2 dudes that play above the rim in Obi and Sims is just great. Yep. Great with that situation. With RJ, I can understand he's frustrating, but I do feel like he needs to play through it. Right. Jarvis, as always, brother. Appreciate you. Chat, fam, streets. Let's get it soon. Let's talk about it. And I predict the Knicks can definitely pick the win up tonight. I think it's a 50-50 game. It's going to go down to the wire. You can never expect that we're going to beat Denver up in Denver as well. Don't take them lightly, man, especially with Jokic out. But we bring team effort, we bring hustle, we bring heart, energy. we move the rock, and we defend, we close out well, and this win's possible. This win's possible. Look forward to seeing it as well. Salute from last night. Great win, great performance from the young players, and promising signs to look forward to, Rand. Promising signs, and we'll chat soon. Let's get it. Pop that like button. The streets is buzzing, and let's talk about it soon. Peace.